Chinese equities because China, the state, the government, has been coming in buying stocks, and Xi is promising more of it. And you talk about interventions, you talk about it in currency markets. Here's an intervention in equity markets. So do you view this as, and you say fade interventions.
Fade
So,
interventions. That's right.
so I'm assuming with uh, China intervening in equities that you would say this is a great chance to get out if you were long and took some heavy losses. And if you're a speculator, you'd be looking to get short China, that the lows are not in, like a lot of people believe. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
I think, look, central banks often intervene in prices, either exchange rates or stock markets. And when they intervene in the market price, but don't change the underlying fundamental policy, they're doing is just providing exit liquidity for private sector pressures, which are moving in the opposite direction. And this chart, I really like this chart because if you just look, if you were to overlay a set of policy measures over the course of the last 9 months, what you'd see is each one of these pops that you see through this chart, each one had a policy story narrative that was like, this is the thing that's going to create the turn. But like, where's the turn? Where is the turn? The turn isn't there. And the reason why that is because what they're doing is they're trying to intervene in the stock market rather than do what's necessary from a fundamental perspective, which is, look, China is experiencing like deflationary, a deflationary, not really quite deleveraging, but just kind of a deflationary, sucking.
No consumer demand for things.
Right.
Which was what they wanted to shift to, being more of a domestically supported economy than an export-driven economy.
That's right. And so they haven't, but the reason why they haven't had that shift is not because it's an impossibility. It's very easy to stimulate domestic demand. Heck, we certainly have seen it in the U.S. We know how to. There's a path
they're going to do that. Maybe the helicopters come out in China.
And maybe the helicopters come out in China, but until that monetary policy changes, which would change the fundamental conditions, simply intervening in the asset market isn't going to be enough. They have to change the underlying fundamental monetary policy. And they just, for whatever reason, and the politics of China are, above my pay grade, they're not providing the level of monetary stimulation necessary to create an economic acceleration or an improvement in their markets.